The girl who should not have survived. Sera Wyn had been alone for as long as she could remember. In the shattered ruins of the Crydon frontier, once a thriving Terran settlement, now a silent graveyard of burned metal and collapsed domes, she survived by scavenging scraps left behind after the war between humans and the Darkens Dominion. Orphans like her weren't rare. The war had consumed everything with its unstoppable firestorms. But Sera was different. She was the girl who survived the Dragonfire night. The night when the Darkens Dominion burned her colony, when screaming ships split the sky, and when winged giants tore through reinforced habitats like they were paper. Her parents had thrown her into an emergency shelter before the flames claimed them. The shelters were supposed to protect children. This one barely had. At 8 years old, Sera crawled out into a world of ash. Now she was 14, hardened and quiet, yet strangely gentle for a survivor. She never killed needlessly. She never stole from other orphans. And she never cursed the dragons who destroyed her home. She simply endured, day after day, with one silent truth cemented in her heart. Hating them won't bring anyone back. She didn't know how wrong, or how right, she was. The day everything changed. It was early morning when Sera heard it. Soft whimpering, like tiny cries swallowed by the wind. She followed the sound through the remains of an old terraforming corridor, where vines twisted through shattered steel beams. The cries grew louder, desperate. Then she found them. 2 dragon cubs. Small, barely the size of large dogs, shivering among the debris. Their scales glowed faintly with embers, eyes large and terrified. One limped, one bled. Both were starving. Sera froze. Dragons killed her family. Cubs or not, a single scream from them could bring a brood mother capable of melting entire mountainsides. But instead of roaring, the cubs only whimpered louder when they saw her. They were helpless. Sera's breath quivered. I shouldn't, she whispered to herself. I should run. But she didn't. Because even though the war had hardened her, she was still human. She still cared. Slowly, she knelt and opened her satchel, pulling out the last piece of food she had saved for the week, a nutrient bar scavenged from an old drop pod. You need this more than I do. She broke it in half. The cubs sniffed, then devoured the pieces like animals who had never known mercy. One nudged her hand, trembling. The other curled against her leg. Her heart cracked. They left you behind too, she whispered. She spent hours tending their wounds, giving them water, wrapping them in her jacket. When they were strong enough to walk, they followed her, tiny talons clicking softly behind her feet, like she was their mother. She didn't understand why she didn't leave them behind. Maybe because she knew exactly what it felt like. To be unwanted. To be forgotten. To cry out and have no one come for you. She named them Ember and Frost. For 3 days they hid with her in an abandoned geothermal chamber. Sera hunted small creatures, shared everything she found, slept curled against warm dragon scales, and taught the cubs not to make loud noises. But on the 4th day, the sky changed. It darkened, not with clouds, but wings. Thousands of them. Middle. The dragon Armada arrives. The air shook. The ground trembled. A blast of heat rolled across the wasteland as shadow upon shadow rippled overhead, wings stretching across miles. Sera stepped out of the chamber, shielding her eyes. The Darkens Dominion had returned. War dragons. Colossal, armored, ancient. Their scales burned with molten light. Dozens of broodships hovered like floating fortresses. Their screeches echoed like distant thunder, shaking broken buildings. Sera's heart stopped. "They are here for the cubs," she whispered. Ember and Frost huddled behind her legs, shaking. A beam of crimson light shot down from the flagship, forming a platform of hardened energy. 3 massive dragons descended, each larger than the crash site she lived in. At their center stood the Broodking himself, a towering draconic monarch whose wings could eclipse cities. He stared at Sera. More accurately, he stared at the cubs hiding behind her. "Human," the Broodking growled, voice like grinding stone. "Step aside. They are ours." Sera swallowed hard but didn't move. She couldn't. "They're injured. They were starving. Your warriors left them to die." Murmurs rippled among the dragon ranks. The Broodking lowered his huge horned head. "That is Draken law." "Then your law is broken," she said, voice trembling yet fierce. "Cubs aren't soldiers. They're children." The dragons hissed in collective shock. One of the generals snarled, "Girl, do not presume to judge our ways." But the Broodking raised a wing. His burning golden eyes studied her. "You fed them." "Yes." "You protected them." "Yes." "You shared your water, your warmth, your shelter." Sera's voice wavered. "Yes. Because no child, dragon or human, deserves to die alone." Silence. Then the impossible happened. The 2 cubs stepped forward, chirping weakly. They pressed their heads against Sera's legs. A sign of imprinting. A sign of choosing. The surrounding dragons recoiled. The Broodking whispered, stunned, "They have accepted you." Dragons did not imprint lightly. Dragons did not choose humans. Not in all recorded history. For a long moment, none of them moved. Then, every single dragon lowered their head to her. Thousands of them. Wings folded, jaws bowed, eyes dimmed in absolute respect. The Broodking rumbled, "By ancient law, the one whom dragon children choose becomes kin to the entire brood." Sera blinked. "I don't understand." "You have become Draken family. And then, we have come to adopt you." The most unexpected alliance in galactic history. Sera found herself swept into the dragon flagship, an impossibly beautiful structure made of volcanic glass and living bone, warm and bright like a beating heart. Dragons of all sizes approached her cautiously, offering gifts, molten or gems, food, a cloak woven from phoenix feathers. Ember and Frost clung to her constantly. She learned the truth. The Draken had not wanted war with humanity. The destruction of the Crydon frontier had been caused by a rogue faction, now executed. The Dominion had spent years searching for the 2 missing cubs, believed dead. Only now did they discover the human girl who saved them. A girl who taught dragons compassion they believed humans lacked. The Broodking invited her to the heart-forged throne, where molten rivers glowed beneath crystal floors. "You may return to your people," he said, "or you may remain with the cubs who have chosen you." Sera looked down at Ember and Frost, both curled around her feet, staring up with shimmering eyes full of love and fear. "But why would you want me?" "Because," the Broodking said, "you showed us what humanity truly is. Not warriors. Not enemies." He lowered his head. "Caretakers. Protectors. Heartbinders." Sera whispered, voice cracking, "I have no family left." "Now you do," he replied gently. An entire army stands ready to defend you. For the first time since her colony burned, a tear slipped down her cheek. Ending a new future for both species. A week later, the Draken Armada descended upon Earth, not for war, but for peace. Humans panicked, military fleets scrambled, defense grids activated. But then the Broodking appeared on every broadcast channel, lowering his wings as Sera stepped beside him holding Ember and Frost. He declared, "Humans, hear us. One of your children saved ours. She is Draken kin. We offer alliance, not in politics, not in war, but in family." Sera stepped forward to speak. And for the first time in years, Earth cried. Her words were simple. I forgave them, so they could forgive us. Within months, human-dragon relations transformed completely. Ancient hostilities ceased. Dragons trained alongside Terran fleets. Orphans on both sides found homes together. And Sera Wyn, once a forgotten child in ruins, became the bridge between two worlds. Ember and Frost grew strong and powerful, but they never left her side. And the Dragon Army? They protected her like she was the heart of their entire species. Because maybe she was. Because she taught them something their fire never could. Compassion burns deeper than flame.